But what I found is as I've stayed home and I find these spiritual mentors, like I did a biblical counseling training group for 2 years, they seem to love me at first, but as I'm sincerely asking questions, assuming that I don't know, it's like I'm confronted either by pride or they think I'm trying to trip them up and I'm not being humble, but I sincerely am analyzing something and I sincerely have a question. And then it's like they're done with me. And so I'm trying to figure out if I'm stumbling because I'm being unwise. I was listening to your stuff, taking notes today. Am I being unwise in the way I'm interacting with these kind of people? Or is that just not my tribe? Do I need to go back to the academia? And am I confusing ministry as being more significant than where I was favored?
Yes.
Yes, that's it?
Yes. Yes to probably all of it, right? So obviously I don't know this. I mean, obviously I'm not there witnessing what's happening, okay?
Right.
But let me just speak to the situation a little bit. When you ask questions, when you poke in on someone, and poking in means if someone says something and you don't take it at face value and you poke in deeper to want to get behind that, if someone is already slightly insecure, that's going to be a huge problem. Okay? If they're already slightly insecure, or if they have pride issues on their side, that's going to end bad for you. Because if they're insecure, they probably don't realize it. If they're prideful, they probably don't realize it. And they're going to take you poking in and they're going to project all this garbage on you. You're like, actually, I'm not prideful. I just am genuinely curious as to how this really works.
I'm analytical. So then they'll just shut me off saying that's paralysis of analysis. But it's like God designed me to
Well,
be analytical.
There is analysis paralysis also, Laura.
Right, right.
I have a lot of people in my world that I'm always saying, you're overthinking it. Now, you can ask me whatever question that you want. Guys, do you understand? I love Q&A. Can you guys tell I love Q&A? You know why I love Q&A so much? I have zero fear at all whatsoever about any question you are going to ask me. Zero. There is no question I am hoping doesn't come up. I know what I know. I'm very confident in my skill set and my experience. And if you ask me something I know nothing about, guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's not my thing. So you probably have some insecure leaders, which is most of them. You probably, they're prideful and they're just not used to being questioned. They're used to people like, well, don't you know I'm Dr. blank, blank, blank. What I say is gospel. That is dangerous. Or you're asking it in a way, Laura, where maybe you don't realize it, but there might be a little bit of a sting or a little bit of an edge to the way you're asking the question that might be creating this feedback. I'm not in the room. You seem super cool to me, like super chill, but I don't know how you are in other cultures, right? Plus, I'm a very strong leader.
Right.
So how you show up in my presence is wonderful, but in another atmosphere where there is not a strong leader, you might be showing up differently because they haven't put you in a context where you feel led. So I don't know what you're doing over there. If you have searched your heart and you're like, I really am just wanting to know more, and if you're like, I think I'm doing it, then your days are probably numbered. Or you have to have a heart-to-heart. Write this down. Sometimes you have to be willing to lose the relationship to gain the relationship. Sometimes I must be willing to lose the relationship to gain the relationship. Hey, blank, I need to just talk to you. When I ask you questions, maybe you don't know this, but I'm just deeply curious. I'm a student. I want to learn. And I feel that when I ask you questions, I find that you get very defensive and annoyed with me as if I'm somehow questioning your authority. I'm really not doing that. And it just really hurts my heart that it seems like you take it that way. And I don't know if I want to be a part of something. I don't want to be here constantly frustrating you for no reason. I just want to learn. I just want to grow, and you're wise, and I want to learn more from you. But if every time I ask a question, I feel like you're annoyed by me, I'm not sure what to do. So what do you think about this? And they'd be like, oh, Laura, oh my God, no, I'm so sorry. I don't feel that way at all about you. Or they might be like, yeah, it is really annoying. It's disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, then you got your answer and you're done.
Yep.
You got to be willing to lose the relationship to gain it. Because what you have right now isn't real anyways. It's not real. It's just like the lady who thinks this guy's going to marry her. He's never going to marry her. That's a fantasy. So then at some point, there's an ultimatum. Hey, we're going to be married by June 30th, or I am moving out. Well, what if he doesn't marry me? Then you move your ass out, and now you know where you stand. Now, if you don't care, if you don't mind living with the man you're not married to, then no problem. Then stay there. I'm not trying to put any morality or rules on you. But if you're saying you want to be married, and then you need to either take a stand and risk the relationship to gain the relationship that you really want. I will tell you guys this from experience. Most leaders are insecure, or at least have areas of insecurity. And if you end up in that area, it's bad. It's problematic. And it's probably going to be portrayed as your fault. And it's a blind spot that they have. I have worked very hard to stay free from this as much as possible. I have worked very, very, very hard. I have lots of people in my life. I've got my wife is prophetic. I have a darn near full-time prophetic intercessor, prays for me, my family, our movement every single day. I get a Marco Polo from him every other day or so. I've got Keith, I've got Dano, Holly. I have a team of people that I am completely submitted to. I am still the leader, but I am submitted to all these people in the sense that I know they love me, and I know that if they see anything in me that is not as best as can be, they all know to bring it to me right away, and I make very swift corrections.
So I guess the last
most leaders do not live like this. Most leaders do not live like this. They have not submitted themselves to this level of transparency and accountability that I have done, which is probably why I believe the Lord is promoting me so ridiculously fast.